Hello students, have a nice day to everyone. Today we are going to start our new chapter, that is molecular basis of inheritance of class 6. Okay, chapter number 6. So in the previous chapter we have learned about the inheritance patterns. As we know that the Mendel has done certain experiment regarding genetics, and that is why he is the pioneer of the genetics, right? But at the time he has given the name of those structures which get inherited from one generation to another generation, is he given the name as a factors, but the nature of factor was not yet known. So that after over 100 years, the experiment has been done by various group of scientists to find out the nature of that particular factors, and nowadays we are known as a gene. As we know, genes are present into the chromosomes, and chromosomes are basically what? They are the DNA. So by doing some experiment, now it is known that DNA is the material which get inherited from one generation to another generation. So DNA is basically genetic material in almost all different types of the organisms. Majority of the organisms contain the DNA as the genetic material, whereas there are few organisms such as the viruses, they have got RNA as a genetic material. Now the RNA, wherever the RNA is present, they have multiple roles to perform other than the genetic material. Okay, those are the genetic material, but there are certain other roles they are playing, such as the adapter role, structural role, and catalytic role. Okay, so what is the adapter role? Adapter means they are, suppose we want to extend something, we put an adapter in between. So adapter are the small fragments of the genetic material. The small fragments of the RNAs are there which act for the binding or increase the activity. Okay, so and structural, in some viruses or the viruses, the structure is basically made up of the RNA as well as some other contents such as the protein. Okay, so those are the structural function they are playing. And the catalytic means enzymatic reaction. So RNA in some places they are playing role of catalytic reactions. Okay, now we talk about the length of the DNA. How does the length get increases? Because of the number of nucleotides present into the genome. Okay, so and that is the characteristics of the living organism as well. As we know, the different types of organism in different species of the organism, there are the number of the polynucleotides are different. So we can say that that is the basic characteristics of particular organism, that how many number of the nucleotide pairs present into the particular organism. Okay, now we talk about the length of the few organisms. Here you can see in the NCERT it is given the 4 organisms, so you need to remember the number of the base pair of those organisms. Okay, the 5X174, that is the bacteriophage. This bacteriophage has got 5, 3, 8, 6 base pairs. You can remember from the 5 over here, so 5 over here, 5, 3, 8, 6 base pairs. Now the lambda is again a bacteriophage. Now both the 5X174 and lambda are the enterobacteria group of the bacteriophages. That means they affect or they kill or they feed on the Enterobacteriaceae group of the bacteria. In the common bacteria for them is the E. coli. 5X174 is the first bacteriophages, or we can say the first organism which genome has been sequenced. That is why we know the base pair of this particular organism or particular bacteriophage at the very first time. This lambda has got 48502 base pairs. Okay, now we talk about the E. coli. E. coli has got 4.6 into 10 raised to the power 6 base pair long nucleotide chain. Okay, so and the human being has got 3.3 into 10 raised to 9 base pair long polynucleotide chain if we talk about the haploid genome. Okay, remember that this haploid word over here, because if we talk about the total number of the base pair, that will get double. So you need to put twice in front of it. Okay, so the human's haploid genome is 3.3 into 10 raised to the power 9 base pair long. Now we talk about the structure of the DNA. If we talk about the structure of the DNA, there are basically three components are present. They make the structure of the DNA. Those structures are pentose, contents are the pentose. So pentose sugar, if we talk about, those are the ribose sugar. Okay. In case of RNA, they are ribose sugar. If we can say, in case of the DNA, they are deoxyribose sugar. Now, what the sugar is actually, it is a 5 carbon sugar. If we calculate this number of the carbon from here, this first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon and fifth carbon. So this is a 5 carbon sugar called the pentose sugar. Here this one is the ribose sugar. Now if we see deoxidation, that means removal of OH group from the second carbon. Okay, so if this OH group is removed, it is called the deoxyribose. So in the DNA, because the DNA term deoxyribonucleic acid, okay, and RNA ribonucleic acid. So in the DNA, this OH group from the second carbon of the pentose sugar that will get removed, that is why it is called the deoxyribose sugar. Now the deoxyribose sugar is binded in the DNA, so it is called the deoxyribonucleic acid, that is a DNA. Okay, and the second component which is present into the DNA, those are the nitrogen bases. Okay, so nitrogen bases are of basically two types, purines and pyrimidines. Purines, again, there are several purines. There are in the DNA, there are two purines present. Those are adenine and guanine. If we talk about the chemical structure of the adenine, that is C5H5 and N5, whereas the guanine has got C5H5 and N5. Additionally, oxygen is attached with that. So C5H5N5 and O. Now, if we talk about the structure of the purine, then we can know that the purines are double ring structure. First ring and the second ring, first ring and the second ring. But the difference, they are structurally quite similar, okay, because they are the two ring structure, double ring structure. But structurally, even if we can say that on the top of the purine there is amino group present, NH3, whereas in the guanine, adenine के ऊपर amino group है NH2 है. In the guanine, it is the presence of oxygen. Okay, so there are two different types of structures of purines present into the DNA, adenine and guanine. Understand the structure so you can afterwards understand the base pairing, why it is base paired with a particular structure. Okay, now we talk about the pyrimides. Pyrimides are cytosine, uracil and thymine. Those are the three type of nitrogen bases present into the DNA. So those are the pyrimides. Okay, so if we talk about the structure or chemical composition, that is C5H6N2 and O2, C4H5N3O. Here C4H4N2O2. Now if we talk, this thymine and uracil is quite similar. If we talk, that we can see into the structure. Now thymine, have a look, focus on the thymine. This thymine and uracil, see this is quite similar. Oxygen present over here, oxygen here. So both the places there are two number of the oxygen present. So this structure is look quite similar. But what additionally present over here is the methyl group on the कार्बन नंबर 5 पोजीशन पे. यहाँ पे जो रिंग की 5 नंबर की पोजीशन है उस पे मिथाइल ग्रुप present है, that is why it is called the methylated. Okay, now what is basically the component is, this is a uracil. Okay, so uracil, on the top of the uracil, the methyl group is present. That is why the thymine is also termed as the 5-methyl uracil. Uracil and thymine are quite similar. This cytosine has got an H2 group on the top. So if we talk about the structure present in the DNA and RNA, then there are two main differences between the DNA and RNA. What are they? In the DNA, instead of ribose sugar, there will be a presence of deoxyribose sugar, right? And in case of DNA, the thymine is present, but in RNA, instead of thymine, the uracil will take place its position. Oxygen bind with the NH2. So NH2O, NH2O. Like that they will make the base pair. Okay. So hope you clear with the purines and pyrimidine nitrogen bases. The third group that is present, the component which is present is called the phosphate group. Okay, the phosphate is present into the DNA. So as I said, there are basically two main differences between the DNA and RNA. Okay, what are they? Instead of the ribose sugar, there will be a presence of the deoxyribose sugar in the DNA. Okay, and the second one is in DNA, there will be a presence of thymine, whereas in the RNA, uracil will take place of the thymine. So thymine will not be present into the DNA. In RNA, it will be a presence of uracil. And third component that is present into the DNA, that is called the phosphate group. Now we talk about the structure. Okay, so as I have tried to draw over here the basic construction of the DNA. Okay, then how it make the polynucleotide chain. Now this is a sugar. We can normally say this is a deoxyribose sugar. Okay, because I have tried to draw over here the structure of the DNA. So deoxyribose sugar is there. There are the number of carbon 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is the first number of the carbon. You can see over here. This is there will be a presence of OH group. Now what will happen? This OH will be removed, and instead of that, then this nitrogen base will bind. Now what will happen? This nitrogen base, as you can see over here, this is the adenine group. So adenine group is given over here, CNCNCC, CNCNCC, CNCNCC. Like that, you can remember. Just for remembering the structure, you need not to draw in the board exam. Just to remember the structure. Now this adenine group, or we can say the nitrogenous group that is present into the DNA, that will bind with the sugar. So sugar we can normally term as the glucose. Okay, for the remembering. So this is the first number of the carbon of this sugar will bind with the nitrogen of the nitrogenous base pair. Okay, so the base pair will bind with this sugar. So we term this bond as N-glycoside linkage. N-glycoside linkage. Why it is binded with the N group? You can check anywhere. This is the thymine group, so it will bind with the nitrogenous group over here. That is why it is also termed as the N-glycoside group. So first carbon will always bind with the nitrogenous group. In the nitrogenous group, there will be a presence of the nitrogen. So that will bind with the nitrogen. Okay. Now over here also you can see this is the first carbon bind with the nitrogenous group. Now the important thing over here is when adenine is bind, in front of adenine there will be a binding of thymine. So adenine will always make a pair with the thymine, and there will be a presence of two bond. We can say the hydrogen bonds. Okay, so there will be a presence of hydrogen bonds over here. Now we talk about the nucleosides. Okay, when this sugar group, this sugar, pentose sugar bind with the nitrogenous group, they will make nucleosides. Okay, and as this phosphate group is added with this nucleoside, that will term as the nucleotides. Now this is the one nucleotide from here to here. Okay, this is the one nucleotide. Now if second nucleotide will bind with this first nucleotide, that will call the dinucleotide, and as the more nucleotides get attached with this chain, this is termed as the polynucleotide chain. So what is basically the DNA? DNA is nothing but is a polynucleotide chain. So nucleotide, this is a nucleotide from here to here. Now again this is a nucleotide from here to here. So this nucleotides will make a chain and make a long structure, that is called the polynucleotide chain. Now we were talking about the bonds present in. So in the DNA there are basically three different types of bond. Here sugar bind with the nitrogenous base pair with the N-glycoside linkage. Sugar bind with the phosphate group, that is called phosphodiester bond. Okay, so from here you can see this is a phosphate. I have marked this in the blue color. So phosphodiester linkage. In between the two sugar there will be a presence of phosphate. So they will make two ester, first, second, di, means two ester bonds. So phosphodiester bond we can say. Okay. So there is a presence of N-glycoside linkage. N-glycoside linkage, then over here that is a phosphodiester bonds. Now we had already talked about the third bond that is present between the nitrogenous groups, that those are the hydrogen bonds, or we can say the H bonds. Adenine and thymine always make two hydrogen bonds, whereas guanine and cytosines, they make three hydrogen bonds. As you can see the difference between the structure, there is a difference between the structure, that is why they can make different number of the bonds. Okay, so as we know there are two different chains, two polynucleotide chain, they will bind with each other from the nitrogen base. So if one chain is going in this direction, then the second chain will come back into the opposite direction, and there will be a binding of the nitrogenous base pair. Now you can see in this structure that this is the fifth carbon and this one is the third carbon. So you can see this linkage, the link between this first carbon is attached with the nitrogen base pair, third carbon is attached with the phosphate group, and the fifth carbon is attached with the free phosphate group. Okay, now third carbon is already engaged in the binding over here. So if you see the top one, the first one, that is 5' and there will be open. Okay, and at the 3' side, that is also open side, that is third carbon. This is first, second and third. So that is why it is called the 3-OH side and 5-P side. Okay, this is 3-OH side and 5-P side. So both the sides are open sides, and vice versa. If this trend is running, if we calculate this trend, this going from 3' to 5' side, the opposite strand will coming back from 3' to 5 side. So over here the 3' to 5 side will be like this direction, and this strand will be like this direction, 3' to 5' direction. Okay, hope you are clear with till now about the construction of the DNA and polynucleotide chain, the presence of the N-glycoside linkage, phosphodiester bonds, and the hydrogen bonds. Those are three different bonds are present. If we talk about the history, Friedrich Miescher was doing certain experiment on the genome. So what he has done, he has isolated several cells, he had crushed the cell wall and extracted the material from the nucleus. Okay, and he has find out that the material which he had isolated, it was acidic in nature. In 1869, Friedrich Michel, he has isolated the genome, or we can say the DNA of, he has extracted the material which were present into the nucleus and find out that that was acidic in nature, and he has given the name as a nuclide. But after some years, around 1953, Watson and Crick has given the new model of this particular DNA. Till that, DNA model was not clear. How it is arranged, that was also not clear. So Watson and Crick has given the DNA double helix model. Now, whatever Watson and Crick done, it was on the basis of the other scientists, Wilkins and Franklin. What they have done, Wilkins and Franklin have done the X-ray images, have got the X-ray differentiation images from the DNA. They have bombarding the X-rays and they have find out that the DNA must be of particular shape. Okay, and what Irving Chargaff has suggested is there will be a presence of the base pairing among the two nucleotide chains. Okay, and the ratio of the purines and pyrimidine will be equal. What they want to say is, whatever the number of purines are present into the genome, there will be an equal number of pyrimidines are present into the genome. This was all about the structure and history of the DNA. Now, in the next session, we will try to understand the nature of the DNA. Okay? Thank you.